What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of the Hella Average Gamescast. I'm your co-host Cam, alongside Carmen. What's going on, buddy?
Not too much, man. Hanging in there. Getting through another week of work. Seems to be a common occurrence.
Yeah, I'm having another long week this week, but it's not quite as bad as last time. Not as many early shifts.
That's good.
Jeremy, what's up, man?
I'm just happy as hell to be alive. Back here doing the same thing every day, every way.
This is quickly turning into the highlight of my week.
Oh, same here.
I couldn't agree more.
What you been playing, Jer?
I actually haven't had much time to play anything this week. Work's been a bitch. What can I say?
Blasphemy, that's what I say. Nothing at all. You haven't turned your PlayStation on one time.
Mostly just for Netflix, honestly. Most I've been doing is playing Final Fantasy VI on my phone.
Oh, yeah. How's that going for you?
It's doing good. Made a lot more progress on it. But, nothing I haven't done about 16 million times.
6 is your favorite, right?
Oh, yeah. Favorite game of all time. That's why I played through that much. This is, of course, not my favorite version of it, but, I gotta use those fancy schmancy new Bluetooth controllers for something.
Is that still holding up pretty good for you?
Oh, definitely. Those controllers work great.
Awesome. I went to Carmen's house this weekend for his housewarming, and he let me play Sonic Mania, or not Sonic Mania, but Sonic on his phone with that virtual controller. Still sucks. I mean, it's better. It's better on his big-ass phone, but virtual controller still sucks.
Oh, the virtual controllers are fucking awful.
Yeah, terrible. Just absolutely terrible.
Yeah, you gotta get it physical.
Carmen, what you been playing?
I've been playing Lawbreakers.
Oh, shit!
That game is something serious.
Oh.
It reminds me so much of Unreal Tournament.
I'm pretty excited because we reached out and got a review code for it, so you're reviewing it. And I'm going to start playing a little bit of it with you when I get done playing The Long Dark.
Damn, it's like we're legit now or something.
Something like that. We're kind of legit. We're getting there, I guess. But what are your first impressions on it?
Oh, man. Well, it kind of just throws you in. So there's no tutorial, but from what I'm seeing from Twitter, the devs have posted tutorial videos on how to play some game modes and how to play some characters. So I need to go back and check all that stuff out. But, man, the gameplay is fast. It's unforgiving. Like, if you get put in the wrong spot, you're getting worked. No doubt. There's zero gravity in certain places, so you're zipping around the map. It has a very high learning curve, so I'm slowly getting in the mix and getting better.
Have you gone positive yet?
Once out of 10 matches.
Okay, not bad.
But I'm close to positive on most.
Is it close? Give me the game it's closer to. Call of Duty, Battlefield, or Overwatch?
None of them.
Okay, cool deal.
Those games are too soft for Lawbreakers.
so this is I'm excited about it because they did a really cool mechanic with it, with the moving around, which I'm not really familiar with it. I've just seen a few videos, but I know that the movement's a big component or mechanic of the game, right?
Yeah, you have to be able to move. You can't get stuck in one spot, or when you're in zero gravity, you gotta zip around, and every character has a different movement type, basically, like the turbo or the run, whatever you want to call it. So they'll move different. One guy can warp, how Destiny has Blink?
Yeah, the Blink, yeah.
Yeah, and then they have supers and things like that. So I mean, it has a mix of a few elements of some of the games we currently play, but it's hard. Game goes hard.
I'll be on there with you soon. I'm really, really excited to play that game. I've been playing through a little bit of The Long Dark. I'm really liking the game. Survival games I've figured out are not my forte, but this game does a good job of making me feel like an impending sense of doom, like if my fire is about to go out or if nighttime's coming. So I like that aspect of it. So I'm playing through the story right now, and then I'm going to play through the story, which is about a 17-hour story, and I'm going to do some of the survival mode, and that's when probably I'll do the review.
It's interesting. It's interesting that you seem to like it, since from what I've heard, it's like the survivaliest survival game out there.
So it's tough. When I first cut it on, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? There's no prompts. I mean, nothing lights up on the ground to pick up. So I had to restart probably 30 minutes in. But in all honesty, once you start get going, the story to me isn't what drags me in. It's literally the fact of surviving or finding stuff and, making it through the night. so far. Not to mention the game is gorgeous, really cool. I wouldn't say it's like cell shading, but it's cartoony, maybe hand drawn style. I really like the art style of it.
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot when I booted it up for maybe like an hour, and the game does look good. And once you figure out what things you can pick up and what things you can use, it like starts to come full circle, and you can start to enjoy the game.
Yeah, like it took me an hour just to figure out how to get water. So, but yeah, I'm playing through that. I'll have probably a proper review for next week's podcast. So I'm really excited about that. And other than that, to take the edge off, I've been playing a little bit of NBA Playgrounds, and that game is still
them dunks in.
Yeah, I'm getting them dunks in. I'm pretty good. I got me a couple of legendary players that I'm playing with, so I'm digging that.
Yeah, I got to get in on that again. I've been so hype around these other games we've gotten.
Yeah, once these reviews are in, I'm probably gonna switch back and do some Crash because I'm missing it. I've got the itch for it. That's so nice.
I gotta get back into Crash 2 myself.
Yeah, Jeremy, that's like your game. It's still topping the charts in the UK.
And 6 weeks in a row.
That's crazy. That's crazy that Crash is doing
crazy.
That is legendary. That's insane.
I went to
I see what you did there.
I went to Carmen's house this weekend and we played some of the NES Classic, and it's really the first time I put my hands on it. We played.
Oh, I didn't know you had an NES Classic.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you bastard.
Yeah, we did some Punch Out, which
nice.
We got all the way to Piston Honda, then we both got drugged.
Really? First or second Piston Honda?
First.
Wow, scrap. You guys are scrubs.
Yeah, you're right. We are scrubs. Played some Castlevania. We did okay.
Oh,
okay.
That game will rape you.
The one we did the best at, we were raping Kirby. I mean, we were making Kirby our bitch.
Well, I mean, come on, it's Kirby.
Yeah, it was fun.
How can you not? Yeah.
It was fun too.
Oh, it's fun as ball. It's fun as hell.
You know,
we were getting so hyped playing.
I forget how good of a game it was.
No, that was the first ever Kirby I played was Dreamland on the Game Boy.
Oh, really?
And it was an okay game, but the one you guys were playing, Kirby's Adventure, vastly improved. That's when they started doing like the copyability system, changed the game. That's still one of my favorite NES games right there.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. We threw in some Mega Man, and of course it raped us just like Mega Man does. I made it through the Metal Man stage, and then quit.
Oh, yeah.
Like we did pretty good there. Then we quit. We're like, fuck this game.
We knew the frustration that would ensue.
You should have had Rob help you.
Yeah, I still gotta get him over. I've decided I'm gonna have him come over. I'm gonna start drinking beer with him, and I'm just gonna put on Mega Man, and he's gonna be looking at the TV, and he's gonna be like, "No!"
Oh man,
that's gonna be great.
Yeah, but it was fun checking out the NES, and it's first time seeing it, first time messing with the user interface and the way it's laid out. It's really clean. Like, it is so cool. You hit the reset button, you're back at the home screen selecting a new game in a flash. It's cool. Like, I can see the appeal to this thing.
Yeah, like I said, I've got my old NES and collection of games, but I still really want one. But fuck, I can't find it, and I ain't paying $300 for one.
Hopefully, maybe one day they'll go down in price instead of going up.
Oh, fuck that. They're discontinued. They're going to do nothing but go up.
I know, but I thought I would try to give you a glimmer of hope.
Just God help us when the SNES apocalypse happens.
Which should be any minute now.
Coming soon.
Should be any minute now.
Oh, that's right. They did say end of August, didn't they?
Yep, absolutely.
Your eyes open. Keep your eyes open.
So we had a few good new releases this week. I'm really excited for some of them.
What you got?
Probably the most notable is Sonic Mania.
So looking forward to that.
Game is getting insane reviews.
I wouldn't say insane, but definitely damn good reviews.
Well, the ones I've seen are 8s and 9s. So for me, thinking about the Sonic games of yesteryear and seeing this one come out and it doing the way it's doing, I'm so excited. Like, it's pretty hype, you know?
Yeah. By that logic, I definitely have to agree. This is easily the best rated Sonic game in forever.
Yeah, I'm stoked for it, and we're working on actually reviewing it, and I'm really hoping we can. Even if we don't, we'll have it, and we'll be talking about it, but I'm super stoked for this game.
Oh, me too. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about it. I hear the load times are like almost instant, that the gameplay is phenomenal. Got to get our hands on it.
Now, granted, I'm not a game developer, but I don't know how you have fucked up Sonic for so long. Like,
I've definitely got theories on that.
well, did they do
they
too
just
much
beat him
or
into
what?
the ground.
Well, the problem is they reinvented the wheel too damn much. You know, the reason why the original Sega Genesis quadrilogy was so damn good was they had one formula, they stuck with it, and each time they improved on it. Then when the Dreamcast came along and they switched to 3D, the first one came out and a lot of people loved it. I personally didn't like it, but the second one they stuck with the same formula and they improved on it. And then every subsequent Sonic game after that, they try and go off and just make a whole new game, whole new engine from the ground up, completely new controls, new abilities, and so forth. And they release it, and it sucks or it's imperfected. And when they make the next game, instead of taking that same formula and trying to improve it or iron it out, they throw it out and try it all over again, and they just keep repeating the process. Every single game that comes out, it sucks. They don't know what they're doing with the engine. They don't know what they're doing with the controls. And instead of trying to make future releases where they take that and improve upon it, they just throw the baby out with the bathwater, start all over again.
Well, I mean, I tend to agree because it semes like this time they're like, guys, fuck it. We're going back to 2D. We're going to do this right.
Exactly.
And then look at it.
Exactly.
Look what happens, you know?
They went back to what worked, what's scientifically proven to work, and they just ran with it, and they just improved everything and just made it look fucking amazing. It plays well. It's a simple concept.
Yeah, I'm
Sonic was due for this.
absolutely.
Oh, he needed this.
Yeah, and like
If
Sonic,
not, the Sega mascot was like basically dead.
and I was really, you know, I have a lot of nostalgia behind Sonic because I owned a Sega Genesis. That was like the first console I really owned, you know? And, of course, I played a shit ton of Sonic. Now, I
I had
haven't
all
played one
four.
in a long time, but just the fact that this game's out, now I'm super stoked to play some Sonic again. You know, it's crazy, in 2017, the two games, like, you got Crash Bandicoot ruling the charts, and now you've got a good Sonic game. Like, these games of old are coming back and just wrecking, and I'm so excited for that.
And nostalgia is the new.
Yeah, these legacy collections and these remakes are they're crushing. I mean, you can see it with Mega Man, now Sonic, Crash Bandicoot, and they're only going to continue to do this.
As long as they keep doing them right, I'm all for it.
Besides that, we got Agents of Mayhem. I've heard a lot of good things about this game. It's from the developers of Saints Row, I believe. Let me double check my math on that.
I believe you're right.
Have y'all heard anything about this game?
I've only heard that it's good. I personally haven't heard anything about the gameplay or anything.
I'm going to look it up and tell you right now. Kotaku says if Overwatch had a single-player story mode, it would be Agents of Mayhem. I pulled that quote right from their article. If Crackdown had more personality and jokes about balls, it would be Agents of Mayhem.
Well, I mean, come on, every game needs more jokes about balls.
Apparently it takes place on an alternate Earth. So it's a free-roaming...
Also, it's tied to Saints Row.
Yes, tied to the same universe. It's a free-roaming third-person action game. So, looks pretty cool. And, like, I never necessarily got into Saints Row, but I can appreciate it being a good game. So,
Ditto. Same here.
but it looks pretty cool. Like, I mean, it's got a really more cartoony feel to it, it looks like. Some cool-looking characters in the lineup, so that's pretty cool. And I'm going to make sure that, like, this is Kotaku's review, so go check it out if you want to get a little bit more info. Give credit where credit is due. Besides that, we've got Nidhogg 2 is coming out this week. And if for those...
You gonna let me work you in that, dog?
Man, you can't get... I am pretty fucking good at Nidhogg. Bought this game and played the fuck out of it. And I can't wait for this sequel. This sequel's got more fucked up art. Like, the pixel art is amazing this time. Like, it's so fucked up looking. There's more weapons. There's more variety. And all the hijinks and craziness that is Nidhogg is back. And I am so fucking excited.
Yeah, it looks real cool.
Jeremy, did you ever see Nidhogg or hear me talk about it?
I've seen it. I've seen gameplay of it. I've never personally played it, but it does look fun. It looks like,
man.
correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like it's just like a bunch of really like quick matches that are decided in like less than a minute.
You can have a match that you could end in a minute if you're good, or your match could go for 30, 45 minutes.
But it looks like it's definitely a good like drinking game.
Oh yeah, it is
definitely.
definitely.
You get drunk and you just need some hogs.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, it's a super basic concept. You kill the other person, you move on to the next stage. You get an arrow, and as long as your arrow's up, you can keep moving to the next stage. Person kills you, Your arrow goes away. They get their arrow. They're running the opposite way. You're trying to get to the end stage. That's the whole concept.
Like tug of war.
Basically, a giant, fucked up, awesome tug of war game. So I'm stoked about that. And obviously there's going to be some more big ones. Is there any big ones y'all wanted to touch on?
Nothing I can think of.
No, I'm good. That covers it. I'm excited for Nidhogg.
Yeah, if you want to see more, go check out HellaAverageGaming.com under the news tab, and you can see all of this week's new releases. Video game news, guys. We got some stuff coming down the pipe this week.
Yeah, things have been moving.
I'm glad because
it's nice.
Because usually we got like slow weeks with stuff trickling in, and it's shitty.
Yeah, and we gotta dig super deep. Like this time, it's like you can just open up any platform that you consume your news, and there's something there.
Absolutely, and I'm pretty stoked. Carmen, why don't you hit us one to start out with?
Let's talk about Blizzard.
Absolutely.
And how they're not phasing out Battle.net, because that was never a good idea.
With everybody, Steam's a major deal with PC. And after a while, people were like, fuck Steam, I'm going to release my own launcher. Obviously, Blizzard, having a lot of the most popular games on PC, World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, StarCraft, etc., said, here's Battle.net, Blizzard's own launcher. And they were thinking about changing the name. Like, why the fuck would you do that?
Just doesn't make sense.
I mean, you're established. You've got Destiny launching on your launcher, coming to your store.
Yes.
Like, that's huge. Nowhere else.
So
but
now they're only going with a minor change to the name, and they're just going to tack on Blizzard to the front of it. So now it's going to be Blizzard Battle.net.
Yeah.
But everybody knew that Battle.net was Blizzard's. It's like, do you really need to drive that home?
I mean, it's all PR stunts, or it might have been something came down from marketing, and they're like, people don't know we're Blizzard. Fucking throw Blizzard on there. All caps with lightning bolts for the Z's. But
I guess.
I mean it's not. And this, the story itself is kind of like, in my opinion. But what if they'd have done some dumb shit like came up and it was like, hey, well, look at Blizzard's new launcher, the
Dolphin 9000.
Yeah, the Dolphin 9000. Eek. I'm glad
Would
they're
people have been that
it.
turned off by it?
I'm sure that you've got some of these hardcore fans that have been playing World of Warcraft since inception, and they would just go berserk.
I mean, it's a big deal to some. It's not a big deal to me. I thought when I first heard it announced, what was that, back last year they announced that?
What, for Battle.net?
Yeah.
I thought I was a little bit older than that. But yeah, I know. Yeah, it's fairly new.
That they were going to rebrand.
Oh, that they were going. Oh no, I don't.
Battle.net's been around since 1996.
Yeah, I'm about to say I knew it was older. Oh, I don't know when.
I'm talking about the rebranding scheme.
Oh, I have no clue. That I don't remember hearing about it. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it came up sometime last year, 2016.
Has Battle.net really been out since 96?
Yes.
Holy shit.
So that's even more recent. Like, why would you stop?
Yeah, I didn't think it was that old. I had no idea. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, why would you stop at this point?
It's cemented into the gaming scene for you. It's everything about all of your application.
Jeremy, when you come home at night and you cook you a Hot Pocket and you sit down to your computer and you launch your World of Warcraft browser and you see your level 9000 Nightwing Hunter sitting there staring back at you, what do you think?
I think that I am he that has no life.
Yes. All the World of Warcraft fans are now going to be like, fuck you!
With my sword of 1,000 truths,
yeah,
I slay the Troll King.
I make fun of it, but I used to play World of Warcraft like crazy. Like, hardcore. Would stay up all night during the summers grinding. It was ridiculous.
I've never
to be hot.
I've never once touched Warcraft in any way, shape, or form. The extent of my knowledge comes from the one South Park episode.
Well, you don't like necessarily MMOs, do you?
Not at all. Honestly, there's not a single Blizzard game that even interests me. Even Overwatch, the only thing I care about is just like the art design. The actual gameplay, I can take or leave.
Yeah.
They're a good company. They just don't make games that interest me.
Blizzard, if you're listening to this, don't fuck up a good thing. Thank you for leaving at Battle.net.
Hey, at least they listen to their fans.
They do. Hey, and you know what? Like, there's not a lot of shit that Nintendo's doing bad this week, so I think we get to lay off them a little bit this week.
We don't get to open up the Nintendo corner?
I don't think so. We're going to talk about them, and we might as well just segue right in with that. They're getting sued.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about the extent of what's happening with Nintendo this week.
Yeah, they're getting sued by a company who claims that the Switch design ripped off their own add-on for tablets to make it look more like a controller. They claim that the idea for the Joy-Cons came from them, and Nintendo was some royalties. And in a decision, or in a move that might shock our listeners, I actually take Nintendo's side on this.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, because you can get sued for damn near anything these days. You can
Exactly.
look at somebody wrong and they'll think that, you put a hole in their t-shirt. So.
I mean, my biggest thing is that this design, I looked at the design of the actual tablet controller, and it's fundamentally different. The controller that they're talking about, it's like a U shape. It's all one giant piece. The ends don't come off.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
It's not unreasonable to think that Nintendo could come up with this on its own. And the biggest thing of all is that this thing's been out for a long time. If they really gave a shit, they would have sued Nintendo as soon as they announced. They wouldn't have waited to see until, oh yeah, Nintendo's making a shit ton of money with the Switch. Let's get them now.
Yeah,
I feel like the Joy-Cons are just like an advancement to like the Wiimote, the nunchuck, basically.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's the next logical step, and I think that's how they'll argue it in court. They'll say, we had this, we already had this copyrighted. This is our patented stuff.
Yeah,
so if it never connected to the screen, we wouldn't even be here.
Dollars to donuts. Nintendo's going to win this lawsuit. This is nothing but a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, and like if really when Jeremy said he told me about it, I just pulled it up, and this thing looks it's basically a dock that you set a tablet in, and it looks like you said, a U-shape. I don't know, controller. There's joysticks on both sides, and a D-pad on one side, and then 4 buttons on one side.
Yep.
So yeah, Nintendo's got this, but I mean, I could see why any company would want to try to reach and get deep in the pockets that is Nintendo.
I think
throw Nintendo in the red.
Yeah, I think honestly they're just going to try and take him for a settlement out of court. But I can see Nintendo taking this and calling their bluff.
Nintendo is notorious for winning their court case.
That's true. They are also notorious for litigation, just like Disney.
Yes, they are. They do not fuck with Nintendo because they bite. They bite hard.
I have many stories of people taking Nintendo to court and it going badly.
Well, I think that you should go over those on your very own History Gaming podcast that should be coming out soon, ladies and gentlemen.
Do not be surprised if you see one or two.
What else we got going on besides that? No Man's Sky. Let's do it. Let's go with that one. Everybody knows how much of a disappointment No Man's Sky was. Probably the biggest flop and disappointment of 2016.
And who here called that?
You did, Jeremy. You did
Cameron.
a fantastic job. I did. I was all in the camp of No Man's Sky.
Oh, you were wetting your panties over this one, my friend.
If the game was what they said it was, this game was going to be phenomenal. But Jeremy, you said it's impossible for this game to be what they said it was, and you were right.
I have a bullshit detector, and it very rarely fails me.
But they've been steadily still supporting this game, which is good. That's what they should do, because this was an ambitious project for them. This was their baby. But this newest update gave us 30 hours of story mode.
How many hours?
30. Blew me away.
Okay.
Blew me away. You could have set my ass down and spanked me when I heard that. Like, it was terrible. Like, I was like, there's no way this thing's going to be more than 4 hours of gameplay. 30 hours of story mode. Not only that, there's true multiplayer in it now. You can see people. You can interact with people. There's new biomes. The game is becoming what it should have been at launch. And
they should have just held off. It's like, just make the game right. I'd rather you delay the game and make it right than send it out to me half-ass and then just push like cheap DLC at me and then finally give me the game.
You know, this is actually a case where I think this is actually kind of the gamer's fault. I remember when they had to delay the game by a month and Sean Murray was getting death threats over 1 fucking month. Could you imagine if they had to delay it over a year just to put in basic necessities?
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Like, the gamer's getting too, wanting too much too fast. The game, it had the potential, but now it has the gameplay behind it. I wonder if it's too little too late, though, at this point.
I think it is, personally. I think a lot of people have been burned and aren't going back. And it does add basic features it needed, but I don't know if it's going to solve the biggest issue of the game, which is just the monotony and redundancy of it. I mean, all these planets. How many planets did they say they had? Like 19
I don't know, some
quadrillion,
quadrillion, something. Yeah, something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Procedurally
And
generated.
and they all look the same. And all the alien life forms are just like spore retards.
Carmen, are you going to download it? Are you going to get back on it?
I've saw a lot of hype about it on Twitter, and I've questioned myself as to should I download it, should I get it. But from what I'm seeing is it's bringing players back, and the players that I've talked to say their only goal is to get to the center of the universe. So they're not trying to play around and explore, because even still now, if you put the game on, you could probably easily get lost in it for 4 hours and not even leave the planet.
Did they give a reason to go to the center of the universe now? Did they change the bullshit ending to the game?
I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure. It's probably the same bullshit, but it's just people want to accomplish said goal without glitching and without all the bullshit that people did to get there early.
Godspeed.
So I'm excited. I really appreciate when a studio continues to support, their baby for so long. So
only time will tell if it's too late.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is, but you never know. Like, it's sitting. I could go download it tomorrow and be like, I'm bored. I might play it, and I could be hooked next week. So we'll see. It's still good news to hear that they're adding to a game that could end up being a good game.
They need to take some notes from some other developers that put out a sequel and just totally redeem themselves. So that's what I think, that as much as people will gripe about it, No Man's Sky just needs a sequel, and they need to have a laundry list of things that have to be done before you even announce the game. You need to get all these things out of the way and create the game that should have been.
I totally agree. I do agree. What were you going to say, Jeremy? What was next up on the list before I jumped in with No Man's Sky?
The Shadow of War microtransactions.
Oh yeah, we did want to touch on that.
And so
I don't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Warner Brothers announced this week that Shadow of War will contain microtransactions.
Shadow of Mordor?
No, Shadow of War.
Oh.
The sequel to Shadow of Mordor.
Oh.
Yes. In case you don't know, Shadow of Mordor came out, I think, 2 years ago, and was a damn good Lord of the Rings game.
Sleeper hit. Nobody saw it coming.
Me too. I didn't know anything about it, and then the game came out, got phenomenal reviews. I went out and bought it and loved every second of it. Mostly for their insanely good and extremely innovative Nemesis system, in which orcs have their own unique personalities, and they grow and develop on their own. They remember you. If they kill you, they remember that and gloat over you, your corpse, and it's insanely fun and awesome. And so now Shadow of War has come out later this year, and they decided that, hey, you know what everyone loves? Fucking loot boxes.
Fucking loot boxes.
Fucking loot boxes. I know, yeah. Most people put them in FPSs. Let's put them in our game. And what do you get out of these loot boxes? You get random orc followers.
What?
Yeah.
Like the orcs will, like it messes with your Nemesis system or something?
You play Shadow of Mordor, right, Cam?
Yeah, I've played it.
Remember how you could basically enthrall orcs to work for you as sleeper agents and shit?
Yeah.
Basically, you're paying to have that already done for you.
Ah, okay. I see what it's kind of.
Yeah, and you buy loot boxes, and you get like 3 random orcs, and you have a chance to get weak orcs, or strong orcs, or legendary orcs.
Now, is it all going to be in one loot box, or are there going to be different tiers like we were talking about that we don't like?
Different tiers.
Oh, my God.
Every FPS you've seen that has loot boxes, they're doing the exact same shit. Now, of course, you can buy it with in-game money, which, of course, will take you hours upon hours to farm, or you can spend $1.99 or $10.99 or $99.99 and get you those guaranteed legendary orcs. Me, I'm definitely going to probably get this game. I love the last one so much, but I don't know if you guys know about me. I don't fucking pay for microtransactions. Never have, never fucking will. DLC's a different story, but fuck microtransactions.
I
don't blame you. It doesn't sound like it's worth it.
Not at all. Like I said, I don't know how integral having orc followers is to the game, but if it is integral, I'm just going to grind. I don't give a fuck. And I was watching a video on this earlier, and the guy talking about it brought up a good point. He said that WB's defense of this is just that, it's for people who don't want to spend the time grinding to get the orcs that they want and so forth. They just pay a little cash and just jump forward. And he said, well, if it's not fun to grind for the orcs, you're basically saying it's not fun to play the game. So why the fuck should I play the game in the first place?
Yeah, you're basically dissing your game. And at the same time, if you don't want to grind in a game and you don't want to play the game to get it, then go play something else,
Exactly.
I was listening to another podcast I'm a really big fan of, Cheap Ass Gamer, and they were talking about loot boxes last week on Injustice 2. And it really seems like, and they were saying, well, I wonder if all of Warner Brothers games are going to start having microtransactions. And sure enough, right after that, Shadow of War announces their microtransactions, which is obviously another Warner Brothers game. So I'm wondering if Warner Brothers is going to move to this microtransaction or be a microtransaction heavy company.
I would not doubt it for one second. And, I don't mind loot boxes and shit like that when it's purely cosmetic. This is just like different skins and like Overwatch does, where it's just different colors, different variations. Doesn't affect the gameplay at all. That's fine. It really doesn't bother me that much. But if they're making it intrusive to the actual game, to where you can't advance until you get this one specific fucking thing you need, and you can grind for hours try and get it, or you can pay $5.99 right now and get it and keep playing. Fuck you.
It just seems like a way to make the game easier. So people are going to buy these legendary orcs right out the gate, and then they're just going to get to work, and then the game's going to be super simple. It's a cop out. They can't pin it on the player and say it's for the player who doesn't want to play, because if you don't want to play the game, then go play tic-tac-toe or something.
Exactly.
That's PR 101 though. Don't say that you're trying to make extra money. You're saying this is for you.
Yeah, but it's clearly obvious they're trying to just make money.
Well, just because it's obvious,
just
because it's obvious to us doesn't mean it's obvious to Joe Blow on the street that doesn't listen to podcasts or doesn't listen to any kind of gaming news. It just picks up a game and it's like, oh, hey, I'll do that.
I don't know. I think their core audience, even the average gamer, is more than smart enough to spot this for what it is. The people who fall for this are generally the people who play mobile games. Who all they play is Candy Crush or Clash of Clans, and they're either young kids or older senior citizens, or even not to sound sexist, but some women who just like playing Candy Crush. They're not gamers, and they're just like, oh yeah, just play $2 or $3 and keep playing.
Jeremy just triggered everybody. We're gonna have some play. Oh, you're feminist. Get the fuck out of here. Thank you, Jeremy.
Out of my avatar, man.
Thank you, Jeremy.
No, but you have a point. It's these people that don't have any interest in really playing the game. It's just there's some hype around it. There's an easy way to the end, and you might as well play. But then there's people like us who want to grind through the game, and we want to fight all the bosses, and we want to find all the things that we can find and accomplish what we want. I don't always 100% a game, but in the situation where you have all these different progressions, or when I did play Assassin's Creed, I did everything in Assassin's Creed because it was enjoyable.
Yeah, that's how I am with every game I get. I try and do everything I possibly can in a game. I won't go nuts and kill myself for some achievement that's fucking impossible, like in Mega Man 10, beat the game without taking a single hit. No, fuck that. But I will try and do anything that's within reason. That's how I have fun with it. But I'm not going to also pay extra money just so I can get this little tiny achievement or do some ridiculous thing that doesn't have anything to do with advancing the plot.
We'll see. I'm just interested. It's not going to bother me because I'm not quite as bad with them as you are, Jeremy. But I'm really more anxious to see what Warner Brothers does with these microtransactions in the future. So we need to store this podcast or this topic in the back of our head. And next time when Warner Brothers has their next game released, we'll have to revisit it.
They're just going to store characters that they've created and enemies that they created in a little backlog for any of their game. And they're just going to keep putting the paintbrush on a outfit for anybody in Injustice, and they're just going to let it run. They're not even going to let you know that new things are going in. They're going to say, well, new skins released, but that's it. And then pump, 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 pump. And they're just going to grab onto people's wallets.
Yep, I agree.
It's a shame.
I totally agree. The whole thing with microtransactions, people hate them, people love them. I'm on the fence with them. But we'll see. It's not going to bother me. I'm still going to play the fuck out of this game.
Oh, me too.
What's next on the agenda? We got any more news came down the pipe?
I wanted to talk to you guys about Overwatch. So we're going to kind of circle back to Blizzard for a second. Do you think that Overwatch has too many game modes? Or that because they're seasonal and they keep them on a pretty good rotation, that it doesn't matter how many game modes they pump into the game?
So, Overwatch obviously does not have any kind of story mode. Overwatch entirety is an online multiplayer game. And because of that, they have to keep it fresh. If they just had, capture point A, capture point B the whole time, it would get stale. So I'm going to go out here. I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't think they have too many modes because these modes exist to cater to every type of gamer. If you don't want to do a full 6v6 or whatever, then you could do a 3v3 or whatever. There's different ways to play Overwatch, and it keeps it fresh and keeps it from getting stale. I personally love the game modes, and I think it makes the game better that they have this variety in the game.
I'm going to take a more philosophical approach since I don't play Overwatch. But do you think it's even possible to have too many game modes? I mean, my thought on it is I think the more the better because it offers more variety and more ways to play. And ultimately, it's going to allow the developers to see what people like. If the majority of people are going for mode A over mode B or mode C, then they know in the future to put more resources into mode A. It allows... Where was I going with this thought? Like I say, it's all about variety. It's like a buffet. You pick and choose what you like and what you don't. I would much rather a game come out and have 10 or 15 different playstyle modes, and I can pick and choose. And go, oh, I like this mode. I don't like this mode. I like this. I like that. I don't like that. Then a game come out and it have say 2 modes, like Battlefront, in which you just have to stick with one or the other.
I totally.
Yeah, but you run a risk
agree.
to have totally dead playlists, though.
But see, that's the thing.
What's that
Blizzard
hurting?
Can always, Blizzard can always go back and say, "Oh, no one's playing, Capture the Flag. There's no one on it ever. Let's just delete it in an update."
Well, it hurts in the sense that if you only like one game mode, you only like, say they ran Lucio Ball all the time, and that was the only game mode you played, Cam. But you and only 6 other people occasionally log in to play Lucio Ball, and that's it. The whole playlist is dead, so every time you want to play Overwatch, if you can't get a match, you don't get to have any fun.
Well,
to quote, I was going to say, to quote Star Trek, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
I agree, and especially with a game like Overwatch, it doesn't hurt them to have these modes up. It's not like costing them resources to keep these modes up. I kind of tend to be in Jeremy's camp where I'd rather have a smorgasbord laid out in front of me and me choose than to just have 2 modes and me be forced to play. But I get what you're saying. Like, I get why you would bring that up because there is so much it can feel overcrowded, and it can be daunting. Like a lot. It can be daunting for new players, so that could be a problem too.
As long as they're not stretching themselves thin creative wise, they're going to have several solid, good modes and whatnot. And I'm sure you'll have a couple that just feel lackluster. But as long as you still have enough, meat in that, nice juicy burger to satisfy your craving, I can do with a little superfluous shit on the side.
No, I think they're crushing it in terms of creativity, and I thoroughly enjoy the game. So I'm playing devil's advocate at this point.
No, I appreciate stuff
but
like
just
that. With maybe with a different game, you can make that argument, but it seems like Blizzard has it down to a science. So it's kind of hard to pin Overwatch with it because it seems like they're doing it right. We might could do some research into maybe different games that could be too overcrowded. I can't really think of
it's just at the forefront of this topic in my mind because they just announced the deathmatch mode, and then they're always running different modes. One of my favorites was the PvE that they did, but I just sometimes worry that it's too much and that you run the risk of running playlists into the ground, and then when you bring them back, nobody wants to touch them, and then
I agree.
It has its effects.
And with this, I can't believe that the deathmatch mode hasn't happened before now. Like this mode should have been in there a long time ago, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Seems
like a staple for FPSs, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's just this game has so many different unique elements. It's made to be, 6v6.
It's a MOBA shooter, so it's kind of different to throw deathmatch into it.
Yeah, and there's certain characters you can't play deathmatch in this game. Like you're not going to bring Lucio in a deathmatch.
No.
But I appreciate
Not
you
at
bringing
all.
that up because I don't think that's a question that's asked a lot. I mean, we always bitch about not having enough content, but at what point is there too much content? Or is there ever too much content?
I think there is too much content if it affects the game in a negative way. Like I said, stretching yourself too thin. But I think Blizzard did approached it very well, where they just release an extremely good core with enough meat to it, and then they can just keep adding to it.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a better example.
Okay.
So let's go to DC Universe Online, Cam.
Okay.
You can't play most of the content on that game unless you're at the top of the game.
Right.
Like, you won't be able to find a tier 1 duo. You won't be able to play a tier 1 raid. You won't be able to do any of that unless you have the party and you all say, like, hey, let's go do this.
Yeah, I mean, so that's how it used to be. I think now they fixed that.
No, they didn't. I was on it
Did they
a
not?
month ago. I couldn't even couldn't play anything
I thought they changed
because I
it.
wasn't subscribing.
Like, I thought that, well, yeah, so obviously, so that's another one. You have to subscribe to that one.
But you don't. You can't play the game if you don't subscribe.
Oh, I know.
You can play the game for free.
That's a free-to-play model. We were just talking about it last week.
Yeah, but this is the same thing. There's so much content in the game that's not utilized.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, so, like, that's another problem you kind of run into with that genre in general. It's the same thing in World of Warcraft or EverQuest. This in-game content, you know, if you're not at the high, you're basically busting your ass to get to the end of the in-game content. So let's say for example, you hit level 30 and you've got a certain combat rating for tier 1. It's going to be tough finding a tier 1 raid, a tier 1 duo. But you've got to bust your ass so you can get past it. All the people are playing the tier 4 stuff. So, I mean, that's just kind of in the nature of the beast when it comes to those MMOs, because everybody's at that high level. You might get lucky and have some people playing something every once in a while, but to me, that's just part of that genre of game. Busting your ass to get to the very end of the end game.
And I mean, they make it easier. I mean, you saw that in World of Warcraft, you can get a level 80 character for free, and now on DC Universe, you have something similar where they'll bump you up and give you gear to a certain combat rating. But it's,
at that
you can
point,
say that there's too much to play there, because why not just phase it out and then just say, like, hey, for you to get to this point, you need to do this, and that's it. So make tier 4 your new tier 1, and then go all the way up to tier 7, and then when you launch tier 8, tier 4 goes away.
Yeah, and at that point, it becomes a really delicate balancing issue. And you're also struggling to keep content relevant. It's like, let's say in World of Warcraft, back when I played, the high-end zones are now basically irrelevant. So a lot of these developers struggle to keep the content fresh, keep the players interested, while trying to phase it out and make new content interesting. So that's the nature of the MMO beast, I think. I really do.
Yeah, but it can be tackled. I mean, you could just ramp up difficulty and add these things in these areas. We saw it with Destiny when they dropped, what was it? The Taken King?
Yeah, Taken King.
You had spawns of enemies that didn't exist in these areas, and you had different challenges and different modes to play through, and different, what were they, like the events? I can't remember what they're called. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, public event.
Yeah, the public event.
Yeah, and like Destiny, so with these companies like Blizzard, they obviously do it right. They are the kings of the MMO space, so they have pretty much fine tuned it. With DC Universe, I think it's still a little rough. I think they're moving towards a better concept because I think they made it all one currency instead of having different currency for different tiers. So, I get why you could say that, but I think at that point it becomes more of a battle of keeping content relevant rather than having too much content.
I can't disagree.
All right, yeah, so that's that. What do we got next? Anything else on the docket for that?
No, I think that covers everything for the too much content topic.
Did we cover pretty much all the news? I know we talked about the majority of the stuff we were mentioning. Oh, Optic Gaming, they just won the Call of Duty World Championship.
Good for them.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's pretty epic.
I watched some of the matches in hindsight, like after they happened, but they were that, man. Seeing the people, it's like I told you, or I said when we were talking about the pro gaming space, like watching people this good who have mastered this game or just mastered their craft is fucking phenomenal to see.
It's mind-blowing.
And I think that Optics won 3 championships or something in 7 years, maybe. Pretty elite play.
I'm not sure.
But one of the podcasts I listened to, they went to it and were there, and they said it's so hype, like crowd goes crazy.
It's popular. Esports, just super popular. I mean, we've already discussed it, but it doesn't stop. People are going to keep grinding, and people are going to try to keep getting better. And these people that play at this level it's cemented in. It's just every Call of Duty game these guys are good at. They don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, it's really cool. Cool stuff. I'm starting to ease into watching this pro sports stuff more and more. It's really cool. We had a question on Twitter that I will touch with you on. It's a hard one because I played this particular game and didn't really get into the DLC too much. But we had somebody ask, why were the 2 DLCs for Ghost Recon Wildlands so shitty? And if you look them up, they got some terrible reviews.
I think 2 words sum it up. Because Ubisoft.
That's what I was we're gonna go with. But they had 2 DLC, the Narco Road and Fallen Ghost. So one of them added PvP, I think, and one was just a couple of new missions. But if you follow Ubisoft's history with their DLCs, take The Division for instance. They don't know what they're doing usually on the first round or 2 of DLC. They tend to fuck it up pretty good. Assassin's Creed,
give
great
them
example.
to the 3rd and 4th ones, and they crush.
Yeah, they'll do good. I mean, this game is coming along from, when it came out, it didn't get the reviews that I think it wanted. It was higher end, middle of the road reviews, right? I mean, people were talking about it being a little monotonous, and some of the missions were just repetitive. But that is a Ubisoft shooter, in my opinion. That's what you kind of expect to come in there. Like, I played the fuck out of The Division, and it was the same way. So that's kind of just their MO in these shooters.
I have faith that they'll redeem themselves. They'll make the game good. Whether or not they have a fan base. I mean, they have a fan base, but whether or not the people will stick with the game long enough to see that is another story. But people will circle back. I mean, when The Division got it right, a lot of people reinstalled. And when this game gets it right, a lot of people will put it back on their system. So be on the lookout for it.
Yeah, I mean, like in the first one, like Narco Road, like it gave 15 new campaign missions. It seems like a meaty ass DLC, but Ubisoft has a tendency to maybe give you big, empty DLCs, So that's what it is. Just blame Ubisoft for your trials and tribulations when it comes to that. It's their fault. They're not the best when it comes to adding new content.
That's easy. Easy peasy.
As far as the second one that came out, about the same. 15 new missions. You could do 4-player co-op on all these missions. Just crazy, just stuff like that. New enemies came out, different play styles. I know my roommate, he plays the fuck out of this game. And for him, he's on like a tier system. And I played it just enough to know that I kind of liked it. It was okay,
Gotcha.
Ubisoft is much better at their Far Cry's and their Assassin's Creeds, in my opinion, than they are shooters. That's my humble opinion.
Yeah, but it's good they reach out and see what they can handle, and they'll get it right. I got faith in them.
Yes, in 1 year, the Ubisoft Game of the Year Triple Deluxe Gold Edition will be fantastic, don't you worry. But that's all we had on Twitter. I don't think we got anything else on any other social media either.
Nope, trying to pull us to go see the Boss Key Studio, whatever they run with, for Lawbreakers.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I'm gonna keep pushing that. I'm gonna try to pump that tweet up.
That'd be cool. We're all of us are from North Carolina. Me and Jeremy are from Charlotte, and Carmen's from Fayetteville. But we found out that we got in touch with Boss Key. Obviously, sent us a review code for Lawbreakers, and we find out that they're stationed here in North Carolina, in Raleigh, which is only a couple hours away. And also, Epic Games is stationed in North Carolina. So we've got 2 pretty big developers here in North Carolina. So we're going to try to maybe tour or go see them at least, and maybe we'll get a couple interviews. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
So we've been trying to get Boss Key's attention on social media. I haven't really got a chance to email their PR people or their staff, but we'll probably have some more info on that later on down the road. But if you got nothing else, Jeremy, you got anything?
Not on my end.
Carmen, you got anything?
Nah, I think we covered it. I think I'll give them the rundown for our social media.
Hit them.
Check us out on HellaAverageGaming.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, YouTube for sure, because we're still working towards that 100 subs. Get us there so we can get that custom URL. And if you feel compelled, check us out on Patreon. I'm going to get to work on that Patreon because I haven't posted anything on there since episode 4. Because I've kind of been bummed out because it's been sitting at 0, but it's not about the money. We care about the game. So, on that note, stay hella average.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.